Is XRP centralized? Yes and no. Let me explain the no and then I'll explain the yes. And you really want to understand what these words mean if you're going to throw them around and attach it to things like Bitcoin or XRP. So let's talk about centralization. The system you've been born into, the banking system, which seems very normal to you, if you really think about it, you have no power, you have no control. You have to ask for permission and get approval to send money, especially large sums of money. That's a power that is centralized with the banks and always has been for a very long time. And if you have like $10, $15, $25,000 in the bank, if you try and go and pull it out of the bank, you try and withdraw it, they'll tell you it's not there, so it's fake anyways. Now what XRP does, it takes that power and drains it from the banking system. It decentralizes it and fractionalizes it, almost like liquid, and then spreads it across the XRP tokens in the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger is permissionless and decentralized, with the XRP token being the native token for the platform. So by definition, it's decentralized. So that if you own the XRP token, you now have access to the power the banks once had, which makes the banks take a different route to come back to have that power, which creates an even playing field with everybody that actually owns the tokens. So it kind of diffuses the idea that XRP is like voting for central banks. It's completely the opposite, actually. The whole idea of XRP and the XRP ledger is to pull the power away from the central banks, give it to anybody who wants in, and then make them come at it from a different angle where everybody has access. So it's a nonsense that you're voting for centralized banking systems if you own or support the XRP token. So let's now go over why people say XRP is centralized. First, you really have to get that when an ego is threatened, it goes on the attack. Bitcoin people like to say XRP is centralized. It's really all that they can say, because the fact is Ripple, the company, is the custodian of the escrow account that holds about 40-something billion tokens right now of XRP, and there's only 100 billion in existence. But see, that escrow account used to be over 50 billion, so as time goes on, and as time will go on, that's going to disappear. But because they're the custodian of that escrow account, Bitcoin people will tell you it's centralized holding. But here's the problem with that. A handful of very wealthy miners own most of the Bitcoin. So you can't get a little bit pregnant. It's either one person holds too much or few people hold too much. It's the same thing. So it's nonsense. What Ripple is actually doing and has been doing is protecting the coin from going up and down with crazy markets, because they can distribute the XRP token to the right partners, institutions, banks, ETFs, things like that, because they can do it without changing the price of the token and manipulating the market. So they're the custodian